In the kingdom of Sky Clear Mountain, 3 princes were always born to the king and queen. The oldest prince was always called Michael, the middle prince was always called George, and the youngest was always called Peter. Until now.
Your Majesty.
Well?
Well...
She looks all right.
Oh, yes, my lord. The Queen's in splendid condition.
And the boy?
Boy? Which boy, Your Grace?
Which boy? My newborn son, Peter the 28th. Honestly, sometimes I think you've all gone daft. Why is he wrapped in a pink blanket?
He, dear?
You mean the prince is...
A princess.
Oh, my. Well, we can't very well call her Peter, can we? Any ideas? Figures? Well, if not Peter, then
Petronella.
Petronella? Who ever heard of such a name? Petronella? Petronella. Grows on you. Has a sort of regal ring. Don't you think?
Oh, yes.
Resolved. She shall be called Princess Petronella.
There was nothing to be done. The years passed, and time came for the princes to go out into the world and seek their fortunes.
Manfred, be a good sport, will you, and pack that into my saddlebag?
As you wish, Prince Michael.
Well, George, today is the big day. You think the world is ready for these 2 young rapscallions?
The question is, are we ready for the world? I say we just stay here and let our fortunes find us.
Impossible. When young princes are grown, they always go out to seek their fortunes.
That's the way it's always been.
And how it shall always be.
Why?
Because I'm the storyteller, and I said so.
See?
Well, I'm not thrilled about it.
Pardon, sire, but as requested, the 3 royal steeds have been supped, soaked, saddled, and are presently prepared to depart.
He brings horses to the throne room. 3? Why 3?
I think the old boy's lost it. Thank you, but we'll only need 2.
And I'll only need 1. What a wonderful day. Perfect for fortune seeking, don't you think?
Petronella, are you suggesting...
Father, if you think I'm going to spend the rest of my life sitting at home, attending court functions, politely smiling, bowing, and nodding till I'm plump, pale, and old, you're mistaken.
Dear, what will people say?
I couldn't care less. It's my life, and I'm going out with my brothers and seek my fortune, too.
She could take my horse.
Look, be reasonable, pet. You're just a girl. Stay home. Sooner or later, some prince is bound to turn up here.
My name is not Pet. I am not a girl. I'm a woman. And I'm not going to wait around here for some potluck prince to come stumbling across the drawbridge and ask for my hand. I won't sit safe in a castle waiting for a prince. I must go and seek my destiny. I hear a drum out in the distance, striking a bright new beat, striking a bright new beat for only me, for me. I'll march to my own drum, alone to my own drum. I hear it out there, I hear it out there. I'll go at my own speed, I'll follow my own lead, I'll follow it there, wherever I dare. Dear, I'll march to my own drum, alone to my own drum. No shackles on me, no shackles on me. I'll follow my own road, alone on my own road. I'll be what I'll be, whatever I'll be.
Pet.
I'll be free to take the bumps and bruises of my own mistakes, free to feel the joy of victory. What am I made of? What does the future hide? Is it just feminine pride inside of me? We'll see. I'll conquer my own world, a new and unknown world. I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. I'll march to my own drum, alone to my own drum. I'll do it or die. I'll do it or die.
She's your daughter, all right.
I know.
And with Petronella in the lead, they traveled into the flatlands below Skyclear Mountain. After many days, they entered a great forest and came to a place where the road divided into many directions.
There are so many directions. How is one to choose?
Pity. I say we call it off and go home.
Perhaps this sign...
It's an old man. Maybe he can help us.
Whatever you ask, I'm glad of the task of offering my suggestions. For how will you know the way to go if you don't ask questions? For the road to hither is slithery, and the road to hither is wrong, and the road to yon goes on and on to where you don't belong. Whatever you ask, I'm glad of the task of offering my suggestions. For how will you know the way to go if you don't ask questions?
Look here, old man. I rather fancy the notion of walloping a wampus, pommeling a python, trampling a tree squeak, or swiping my sword at a swamp gaboon.
Yes, I would definitely race to thereabouts.
To whereabouts?
Post haste. Yes, I would definitely race to thereabouts. If I had a lot of time to waste, I would hurry all the way to not so far.
To what so far?
At once. Yes, I would hurry all the way to not so far. If I were a dunder-headed dunce.
At last, the old man pointed him down the road to Blitz, home of a ferocious, fire-breathing dragon, a place where all foolhardy ruffians could find their fortunes.
Good luck, Michael.
He'll need it. I'd like to take the safest road possible, one which will lead me to great caves of sparkling gold, valleys of rubies, emeralds, diamonds, and pearls.
I'd ride the high road to over there. If I weren't after gold and jewels, I'd gallop the by road to somewhere else. If I heeded the advice of fools, I'd be running like the wind to there and back. To where and back? I'd sail. Yes, I'd be running like the wind to there and back. If I had the burning will to fail.
The old man pointed him down the road to Gratz, a land with nothing but treasure, where everyone stayed wealthy forever. For there was also nothing to buy.
Good luck, George.
He'll need it, too.
I suppose it's out of the question to ask...
It is out of the question, so I can simply state that I'm forced to sit on this spot without stirring, just to answer one question from each person who passes by.
How terrible. You poor thing. Is there anything I can do to help you?
You just did! Oh, that's the question which releases me. You know, I've sat here for 62 years waiting for someone to ask me that. What's wrong?
Oh, I'm happy I could help you, but now I've used up my question. How will I ever know which road will lead me to my fortune?
Someone as kind and unselfish and as loving as you are is bound to find good fortune down any road.
Thank you.
Anyway, now that you've freed me, I can answer any question.
Well, I wish to rescue a prince.
There is one at the house of Albion the Enchanter. Get 3 magical secrets from the Enchanter.
How can I get these secrets?
He will set you 3 tasks. If you do them, you'll get a reward. Ask for a comb for your hair, a mirror to look into, a ring for your finger, and once you rescue the prince, these will help you escape from the Enchanter.
It doesn't sound easy.
Nothing we really want is easy. Look at me. I've wanted my freedom for 62 years.
And now you've got it. Thank you. Thanks for all your help.
Good luck to you, Petronella.
Petronella took the old man's advice and followed the right-hand road. It ended at a low, rambling house with round windows and doors.
Residence of Albion the Enchanted.
Petronella thought it a most comfortable-looking house, to be sure, surrounded by gardens, stables, and trees heavy with fruit.
Pardon me. Sir, excuse me, but...
There's no need to raise your voice. You were heard the first time.
Then why didn't you respond?
Well, there's nothing to be said. Besides, I'm terribly busy.
Busy? Doing what?
Well, I'm watching the grass grow round my boots. Rather intriguing, actually. Did you know there are 7,768,993 blades of grass in this garden?
You counted them?
Someone had to. Otherwise, I'd never know the number, would I?
What exactly does an enchanter do?
Oh, amazing things, really. Would you mind moving along? I'm trying desperately to work.
What are you working on?
A suntan. Oh, dear, now, look, the sun's gone behind that tree. Do be a dear and move it out of the way for me, won't you?
Move the tree? Wouldn't it be easier if you just moved your chair out of the shadow?
Must you complicate everything?
The old man at the crossroads said Albion would set me 3 tasks, but I never dreamed I'd have to move a tree. There is a prince here, isn't there?
Yes, Prince Frederick of Firebright, and you're making him very impatient. Now either move the tree or move along. Well, it took you long enough.
But I didn't...
I think you're looking for me. Albion's the name, enchantment's my game.
Wait a minute. If you're Albion, he is the prince?
Well, they come in all shapes and sizes. You see, things are not always what they seem.
Half of the things you think are true are truly only fiction. Half of the fiction when you're through was merely false prediction. Half of the prices that you pay are rarely worth the cost. And half of the dreams that go astray are never really lost. For if you put a little faith in fantasy, put a little faith in mystery, put a little faith in what you hope will be, then you may have a little dream that may come true. Have a little magic made for you by a mystic magic mastermind like me. Half of the things you think you know up on your close perusing, half of them really aren't so. The rest are too confusing. Half of the me you think you see is really only sham. But half of the sham, I guarantee, is really who I am. And if you put a little faith in fantasy, put a little faith in mystery, put a little faith in what you hope will be, then you may have a little dream that may come true. Have a little magic made for you by a mystic magic mastermind like me. Half of the deeds you want to do are never worth the doing, and half of the doing when you're through was never worth pursuing. Half of the places that you've been are places that you've missed, and half of the ones you'd like to see really don't exist. So if you put a little faith in fantasy, put a little faith in mystery, put a little faith in what you hope will be, then you may have a little dream that may come true. Have a little magic made for you by a mystic magic mastermind like me.
Oh, gosh. I wish to work for you.
I cannot refuse, but I must warn you, it will be dangerous. Now, if you can do it, I'll reward you. But if you fail, you must die. Ominous stuff, huh?
That night, Albion took Petronella across the garden to a stone building beside the house.
Your first task will be to stay in here all night with my puppy.
Puppy?
Oh, full grown, he'll be 4 times that big. Of course, you're welcome to back out.
I never back out. Why, no wonder you're upset. My goodness, whoever brought your dinner was afraid to come near you. Well, I'd be grouchy, too, if I were hungry and I couldn't reach my food.
All night long, Petronella sat with the dog and softly sang to him. The next morning, I said the next morning. Thank you.
Dare I look?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am impressed. You were very brave. You know, if you had run from that dog, he would have torn you to pieces.
It was nothing, really.
Oh, it was everything. Everything to earn your reward. What'd it be?
I want a comb for my hair.
You're the boss.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I picked it out myself.
May you never part with it. That's a joke. Get it? Comb? Never part with it.
Unfortunately.
I say, would you like to hear a poem? The wind whipped through the thistle and lashed the auburn reeds to send a hissing whistle.
Aren't you going to finish it?
That would require turning the page.
What are you doing?
Perfecting my craft.
Charm spells and incantations? I would have thought a mystic magic mastermind like yourself would already know everything in that book.
If I thought I knew everything, I obviously would know nothing. Anything I can do for you?
I was about to ask you that same question.
Oh?
I'd like to work for you again tonight.
Okay, let's see. How are you with horses? See you in the morning.
Well, I see what the problem is here. Your coat is so rough. Yeah, and your mane. It's full of burrs. My goodness.
All night long, Petronella groomed the horse, sung to him, and he stood quietly in his stall. In the morning, Albion unlocked the stable door.
You okay? I see you know a little magic of your own.
It wasn't magic, really. All he needed was a little love.
Ah, but love is the most wonderful magic of all. Well, what will you have for your reward?
I want a mirror to look into.
A mirror, eh? Put out your hand.
Oh, it's exquisite.
A reflection of you.
A reflection? A mirror? Oh, you really are too much, Alvin. Do you know that? Well, do you love it?
What is it?
Why, art, of course. I call it White Horse galloping across a snowy field in a blizzard. Tell me, if you really are a princess, why are you working for Albion?
Why, I'm doing it for you.
Why?
I'm beginning to wonder about that myself.
Nonetheless, Petronella offered to work for the enchanter one more time. That night, Albion led her to a loft above the stables.
Tonight, you watch my falcon. Good luck.
That's not how birds sing.
I know. It's just every time he opens or closes that confounded door, it scares the feathers off me.
You're a falcon. I thought only parrots could talk.
And once they start, you can't shut 'em up. Oh, well, I don't usually waste my time prittle-prattling with humans, but you look like you need someone to talk to.
See, I always dreamed that someday I'd find a handsome prince and together we'd live happily ever after.
Where'd you hear that? In some fairy tale or something? Oh, well, look, you've done better than most people. You found a prince, didn't you? And he's handsome, isn't he?
I suppose, but I always dreamed that
love's the magic all the world can share. I look around and love is everywhere, shining in people's faces, blooming in gloomy places. Why haven't I found love? Snow may fall and icy winds may blow, but love can keep you feeling all aglow. When you're warmed by your lover's kisses, that's when you learn what bliss is. Why haven't I found love? Wish I may, wish I might meet that wonderful someone who's right. Someone brave, noble and fine, who feels wonderful being mine. They say that love's a happy carousel you ride. Love, it keeps you whirling round inside. When will I feel that spinning? When will my life begin? Oh, why haven't I found love? Why haven't I found
Maybe you have found it, but haven't realized it yet. Maybe, in time, you will.
Petronella sat with the wise falcon all through the night and into the morning.
I heard you singing last night. You're as talented as you are brave and kind. Lovely voice.
Thank you.
Well, what will your reward be this time?
I'd like a ring for my finger. Oh.
Where it belongs.
Oh. It's lovely.
All that day and all that night Petronella slept, for she was very tired. But early the next morning...
Would you please hurry? I'm trying to rescue you.
At this indecent hour of the morning? I'm afraid this is most uncomfortable.
Well, do you want to escape or not?
I want some breakfast. Could we stop somewhere for some?
They rode like the wind, but Petronella and the prince couldn't outrace the enchanter, who ran after them with great strides, faster than the horse could go.
Oh. The old man said this would help.
All at once, a forest grew up around it. The trees were so thick that no one could get between them. The enchanter turned himself into an axe and began to chop. The trees fell before him. Soon he was through the wood, and once again Petronella heard his footsteps thumping close behind. She took out the mirror and threw it on the ground. At once, a wide lake magically spread out between them. The enchanter turned himself into a fish, sprang into the water, and swam across the lake.
My, But he's a versatile chap, isn't he?
Though she'd grown fond of the ring on her finger, Petronella knew it was her only way to rescue the prince.
Whoa, whoa. Oh, boy.
I'm afraid that one didn't do a thing.
Magically, all at once, the ring grew huge and entrapped him.
I say, that's the end of him.
I can't just leave him like that. He'll starve to death. If I release you, do you promise to let the prince go free?
Let him go? I'm glad to get rid of him.
Wasn't he your prisoner?
He came to visit me for a weekend, and he asked if he could stay for another day or two. That was 11 years ago.
Someone crack a funny.
But why were you running after him?
I was running after you, and I would have run after you forever. You're the kindest, the bravest, the loveliest, the most wonderful woman I've ever known.
And you're not so bad yourself. How do I get this ring off you?
With a kiss?
Where it belongs.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm the prince. I'm supposed to get the princess, aren't I?
Don't look at me, Fred. It's her story.
Well, you were supposed to go off and get a prince, weren't you? What will your parents say?
He's got a point.
For the first time in 11 years, he's right. How do I look?
Enchanting.
Pretend you can climb up a rainbow or fly to a gingerbread star. 'Cause if you believe in make-believe, no faraway dream is too far. Pretend you can climb up a rainbow. You'll find there's a beautiful view. 'Cause if you believe in make-believe, your happiest wishes come true. Pretend you set sail on a movie. You'll fly to a gingerbread star. 'Cause if you believe